Welcome back to Tech TV here in Austin. I'm Ben Wodecki, and I'm really pleased to be joined by Kirk from Amii. How's it going, Kirk?
Oh, it's going really well. We're near the end of the show here, and it's been great for us. We've had some good engaging talks and had a lot of people come by and talk to us, so yeah, we're pretty happy and pretty excited.
That's really great to hear. Well, yeah. I know it's the end, but we're going to have a very deep dive conversation into Canadian AI and all things that you guys do. So the interesting thing about being based in Edmonton in Canada is that it's one of the fastest growing markets for AI, right? Canada is really growing. Just reading off here, Canadian government's AI strategy, which is one of the first few in the world, spent 125 million Canadian dollars to accelerate advancements. What's your take on the current state of AI in Canada?
Yeah, well, I think it's, right now the state is really strong. I mean, we're seeing really strong growth, and the Pan-Canadian AI strategy that you referenced has been a big part of that. So the $125 million you mentioned was sort of the initial round that got things set up, so that created 3 institutes across Canada, of which Amii is one. There's also Vector Institute in Montreal, or in Toronto, and Mila in Montreal. But since then, the Canadian government has actually sort of renewed that or doubled down on that. So in addition to the initial sort of goals of that funding of attracting and retaining top AI talent, they've also now included other funding for things like working with industry, commercializing AI technologies, developing AI standards, and a bunch of things like that. So the investment now is actually probably closer to $500 million that is planned in the space. So it's really led to rapid growth and I think some global recognition in that way. So. And
there's some big names as well that have set up shop in Canada. There's some commercial research labs for Google, IBM, some of the names on the boards behind me, which is incredible. How important is it for you guys at Amii to be in and around those names?
It's very important. I mean, having those big names in the ecosystem, in the market, in the environment is important. They, in a number of ways, they provide sort of that center of gravity, if you will, that attracts other businesses that want to work with them. It attracts a lot of talent, from all over the world, of individuals with really strong skill sets in tech and AI that want to come and explore the prospects of working with these companies. And it also, for us, it provides opportunities for collaboration, where we've got some really cutting edge and leading research that's of interest to these organizations. It creates opportunities for them to articulate challenges that they might be having that we might be able to participate in helping them solve. So overall, it really boosts the entire ecosystem to have companies like that around, and we're fortunate enough in Edmonton to have some of them. DeepMind is a good example. We share a space in a building with them, and their first office outside of the UK was actually in Edmonton, and they moved there to be closer and affiliated with some of our researchers that are a part of our organization. So that's a perfect example of how that sort of connectivity works when it's working well. So
that's great to hear. Yeah. I think one thing I want to talk about is more what you guys are doing at Amii. Now, you were here, you gave a speech around kind of the climate work. Mm-hmm. How can AI enterprises kind of reach lofty climate goals?
Yeah, so in this case, it's often AI companies, but it's often even the companies that are in traditional sectors. So they might be in energy or in agriculture or in areas that are traditionally quite carbon intensive or that are producing greenhouse gas emissions. That maybe haven't even gone down the road of trying to implement AI yet. And the ways that they can sort of utilize that technology are many. Anytime you've got processes that are controlled digitally, autonomously, or semi-autonomously, there's an opportunity for machine intelligence or machine learning to be involved to help optimize those processes, and often that can be for energy efficiency and savings, which usually translates into greener production or fewer greenhouse gas emissions. We've worked with a number of companies in that way. It might be in computer vision related to forest management, where you're looking at ensuring that you're maintaining healthy forests that act as emissions sinks, for lack of a better term. So yeah, there's lots of ways that the companies can, whether they're an AI company to begin with or whether they want to implement AI into their operations, emissions. There's a lot of ways that they can do that.
So you were talking specifically about REMI, right, which is from
Yes.
you guys. Talk to us a little bit about how REMI fits into the whole kind of climate conversation.
Sure, yeah. So REMI is another acronym. It's reducing emissions through machine intelligence. And that program came about through a grant that we received from the government of Alberta. There's a program called the Technology and Innovation for Emissions Reduction Program in Alberta, in Canada. That requires large emitters, industrial emitters, to pay a fee into a fund, and then that fund is used specifically for technology development to reduce emissions. So we were lucky enough and we're grateful to have access to some of that funding, and in doing so we're able to work with companies in a lot of different ways. So as I said before, companies come to us at different stages. They may be an AI company, but they might also just be a traditional sector company that wants to go down this path. We've got a suite of programs and services that we offer to companies like that help them, whether they're just starting out, so we'll provide education and training, or whether they've got a bit of an AI team, we can help advise and coach them through that. Or if they really want to advance the AI technology, we can become sort of an R&D partner with them and get into an advanced technology type of engagement with them. And that's all supported through the REMI program that we have.
That's great, and climate is of course one of the many things that you guys do at Amii. What can we expect from you and your team over the next kind of 12 months or so?
Yeah, well, as I said, it's kind of a really exciting time for us. With the funding we've received now from the province of Alberta through Alberta Innovates and as well through the government of Canada, it's really going to be a time of growth for us. We're going to grow our research team probably by 50%, which is a significant number. So that is going to have an immediate impact on the spaces in which we work technically, the amount of talent that is produced by those researchers doing that work, and attracting industries that are in a broader field and broader sort of set of sectors. So it's an exciting time, yeah, for sure.
I look forward to hearing and seeing more from you guys over the next 12 months. It's really great to see a market thriving in an area that's often overlooked, so appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, Kirk.
For sure, thank you.
All the best.